In Borderlands 3, there are skills and augments, but how exactly do they work? Well, today we're going to find out and break that down. Esiva, this is LaserBolt, and today we're going to be talking about skills and augments and how they work in Borderlands 3. And we're also going to be diving in each character's skill tree to kind of break down how augments work for each individual character, as they are different per character. But before we break all of that information down, I want to remind you guys about our giveaway. We're giving away 2 free copies of Borderlands 3. If you guys would like to join and participate in the giveaway, all you have to do is click the link down below where it says Join Bolt Nation, and you guys will be automatically entered. So good luck to everybody that's participating. And as a friendly reminder, guys, if you are picking up Borderlands 3, definitely stop by over our Discord channel. We have a Borderlands 3 LFG group where we are getting a ton of people who are also going to be picking up the game, and it's always going to be a very nice place to not only talk about Borderlands 3 but also find people to play with when you get the game. So now let's dive in and talk about skills and augments and how they work within Borderlands 3. One of the first things that you're going to be getting presented to when you play Borderlands 3 is the skill tree, and sometimes the skill tree could be a little bit intimidating or a little bit overwhelming, especially if you are new to loot and shooters or if this is the first time you pick up Borderlands 3. I want to know from you guys in the comment section down below, are you a new Borderlands player? If you are, please let me know in the comment section down below. Now, what makes this a little bit even more overwhelming is that when you look at the skill tree, you're going to notice that there are different sets of icons. You have a big road coming down the middle with a bunch of numbers, and you also have different shapes in the icons. You have some squares, you have ones that look like an arrows pointing down, you have one that looks like a hexagon, one that looks like a diamond. What exactly does all of this mean? We're going to be breaking all of that down, and by the time you're done watching this video, you're going to know how exactly all of it works, and we'll be ready once the game launches. So let's get the simple stuff out of the way, and something that I'm pretty sure the majority of you guys are familiar with. So you are going to need skill points in order to unlock skills. All the stuff that you see currently right now on the skill tree will be able to be unlocked with skill points. Now, of course, you have a certain amount of skill points you could use, and that's going to determine on what you want to invest your skill points. So the numbers represent the amount of skill points you need to put into that skill in order to maximize it or in order for you to unlock it. Now, everything that you see that's within the middle section of the skill tree, not the stuff that's outside of the box, but the stuff that's inside the box, that is considered a skill. Now, in addition to that, we have something called in-action skills. Now, we're able to actually see what an action skill is because if you notice on the top of the skill tree, there is an icon with the shape of a hexagon, and that is considered an action skill. Now, one of the first things you're going to want to do when going through your skill tree is, of course, equipping an action skill. And that is going to be with every single character. Each character will have its ability of equipping an action skill. Of course, each action skill will be different depending on the character you pick. Now, here is where things get a little bit more interesting and fun, because apart from just having skills and action skills, we have augments, augment replacements, and elemental augments. Now, some of these are also just tied out to specific characters, which I'll explain as we progress throughout the video. But the fun factor here is that we get additional stuff to our skill tree. Now, the augment, the replacement augments, and the elemental augments are separated within the skill tree because you will notice that they are outside of the skill tree. So everything that's not inside the box is considered a augment replacement, or a elemental augment. Now, the way you're able to unlock these is you need to complete the column for that specific row to unlock each individual one of them. Now, the neat feature about this, as of what we know of right now, and the stuff that I've been able to play when I've been invited to the events, is that these do not require any skill points. Once you unlock that row, you're able to pick the augment you want to use, and you're always able to switch it around whenever you want without wasting any skill points. Now, the question becomes is, how am I able to identify what's an augment replacement, what's an augment, and what's an elemental augment? Well, the good news is, guys, that these are represented and identified by shapes. So remember earlier how I said we had different shapes? We had hexagons, we had the arrow pointing down, and we also had diamonds. Well, this is the way we're able to identify what is what and what we could use and what exactly do they do when we apply them to our skill tree. So let's take a look at these 3 shapes and find out exactly what they are. Whenever you see a hexagon item, these are called replacement augments. What they will do is that they will completely change the way your action skill works and make it totally different. So for example, let's take a look at Moze. Let's say for example on Moze we want to go ahead and equip the railgun, but we are not happy with that railgun. We want something different. Well, on her skill tree, we're able to find another hexagon. What this hexagon will do is once we apply it to our slots, it's going to allow us to replace the railgun with a bare fist. So whenever you want to replace a specific action skill that you maybe don't like or maybe want to try something different, you'll be able to do so as long as your skill tree has an additional hexagon that you're able to equip and replace your current action skill. Now let's take a look at the shape that looks like an arrow pointing down. These are considered augments. Basically what augments do, they augment whatever you currently have as your action skill. So for example, let's take a look at Moze. She has a railgun, but I want to make sure that that weapon is better than what it currently is. Well, I'm able to apply a augment to the railgun. And the way I'm able to identify what type of augments I'm able to put or update the railgun with is by identifying the shape that looks like an arrow looking down. So let's take a look at the current ones that she has. So for example, she has this one right here that is called Hell on Rails. Basically what this does, it gives it an augmentation to the railgun. Railgun now fires superheated rounds that deal incendiary damage but have increased fuel drain per shot. Now I'm able to apply this augment to my railgun, and now my railgun will fire superheated rounds. But apart from this, I'm able to apply other different augments if I don't like that one in particular. So deciding which augment to put to what specific weapon, of course, is going to be your choice. But luckily for you guys, I will have you guys completely covered with skill builds so you guys can know exactly what augments work well with what specific skill action. And the last shape we're going to be taking a look at, of course, is the diamond shape. Now, the diamond shape is exclusive to 2 characters, to Amara and FL4K. These are the only characters that have the diamond shaped icon. Basically, the diamond shaped icon is a behavioral type of skill that you're able to equip to specific characters. Like I said earlier, only 2 characters have it. For FL4K, it allows him to have pets equipped or also change the behavior of his pets. And for Amara, it just changes her elemental damage type. Now that you guys understand what skills are and what augments are, let's talk about the benefits of picking a specific character and tapping into the skill, and of course the augments for each individual character. Let's start off with Zane. Now the cool advantage of Zane is that he's actually able, and the only character as of right now, that is able to have 2 sets of action skills. Now, he does sacrifice being able to use grenades if he picks the 2 action skills, but that does not mean technically that he can't throw grenades. I will have skill builds for Zane that are going to be completely insane, so you guys are definitely going to want to check this out. Now, with Zane, he has 2 hexagon slots. Remember, hexagons, once again, guys, are replacements of skill actions that you're able to put in here. And in addition to that, he also has 2 arrows pointing down, which are augments that are going to augment his skills. So with Zane, you have the ability to go with 2 different sets of action skills, and you have 2 sets of enhancements that you're able to apply to those set actions, making him very unique in being able to have 2 major skills or attributes within his skill tree. Now let's take a look at Moze. So Moze gets 2 different sets of weapons for her mech. Now these, of course, once again, are represented by hexagons, and each of them will have an arrow pointing down. Remember, you're going to be able to not only swap the weapons you want to apply for her mech, but you will also be able to augment each individual weapon to do more damage or change the complexity of that specific weapon. Now let's take a look for Amara. So for Amara, it's a little bit more trickier because she's only able to equip 1 action skill. In addition to that, she will get a hexagon. She'll also get the arrow pointing down in a diamond slot. Remember, she's the only one. Her and FL4K are the only 2 that have the diamond slot. Now, the arrow pointing down and the diamonds affect the attached action skill. Now, you do not have to be on the same skill tree to have that specific skill. Now, her elemental augments that you're able to apply and change are fire and corrosive, and her action skills are electricity by default. Now let's take a look at FL4K. Now FL4K gets 1 diamond. He also gets a hexagon and 2 arrows pointing down. Now the diamond for him is his pet. That's basically what that does. It lets you pick his pet. Now you could only have one pet equipped at a time, but later on in the skill tree, you'll get a diamond that changes how the pets actually work. Now pets could stay with Fleck at all times. Now his pets could actually die, but remember he's able to keep them back alive or bring them back alive with his Gamma Burst, which is part of an action skill. Now he'll also be able to issue commands to them, and all of these commands are tied specifically to specific pets. Not all pets will have the same commands. Now one thing I want you guys to keep note, if you guys are thinking like, can I have one pet but a different action skill? Yes, you could have a different pet from a different skill tree and have different skills. You can mix and match to whatever you guys want. And I hope this video helped you understand how skills work and what is the difference between skills and augments and how they apply to each individual character. I do hope you did find this video helpful and informative. If you did, guys, if I could ask you for a huge favor to drop a like in this video and share it with your friends, because that does help us out a lot. Now remember, guys, we will have you completely covered with all things Borderlands 3, so make sure you guys subscribe to the channel so you guys can stay up to date to everything that has to do with the world of Borderlands 3. If you guys would like to show additional love and support to the channel, do consider joining the Bolt Nation. To join, it's super easy. All you got to do is click the link down below where it says join Bolt Nation, and you guys will unlock exclusive features only found in the channel. Thank you guys for watching, and don't forget WGATAP, and I will catch you guys on the next video.